What is going on, guys? It's your favorite anime protagonist, it's Just MV. Welcome back to another 86 Details, Symbolism, Explained, Season 1, Part 2. Last episode, we watched Part 1, which explained a lot that I did miss. I'm hoping to see more and hopefully some symbolisms that will like blow my mind. Like, I want to explode, like I want to so hopefully we do see something that catches me off guard in this one. This video is originally by ctrlaltQQ. Shout out to him for making these videos. Also, another thing I want to say. Someone had brought up to me that it is okay for me to pause the video and explain my thoughts on what I think instead of talking over him, which I will do in this video. So for any of you guys hate when people pause the video a lot, because that's still a trend nowadays. Let's be honest here. Oh, someone pauses the video. Oh, I can't watch them. Oh, they talk too much, yada yada. I don't want to hear your opinions. I just want to see you react. I do not want to see that in the comments. I'm letting you know right now. I will make sure to only give my important opinions, so I don't waste time and so you guys don't waste time. But with that being said, let's get right into this video.
We begin the second half of 86 with the debut of Lena's new look. She chooses to don a black uniform and added a streak of red hair. By adding these two colors to her appearance, all 5 colors of the San Magnolia flag are now represented with her new look.
Completely seeing that. I completely noticed that. That was a very good small detail that they added in.
This is her way of trying to uphold all of the values of the Republic, despite the corruption and incompetence all around her. In the next scene, she walks straight into a sword in a symbolic way that is suggesting she is stabbing herself. Lena, in a way, is committing career suicide by sticking her neck out for the 86. Formerly known as a major, she has now been demoted to captain. The officer who is berating her is a lieutenant colonel who is 2 ranks above her. With her demotion, she is no longer reporting to General Jerome Carl Stahl. Captain Melise is no longer commanding the Spearhead Squadron as a punishment for her unauthorized use of artillery from episode 11.
Right, so I've noticed very in the beginning of the episode also that she lost her rank.
You can see Lena is still hopeful the ex-Spearhead members are still alive because she still has them pinned to her corkboard. The box on her windowsill is where she places the deceased to remember and to honor them.
Right.
When the camera pans to the 5 protagonists, Shin's portrait looks like it's been through some rough times.
Yeah.
This is a callback to episode 9, when Lena took Shin for a spin during her confrontation with Annette.
Okay, I actually didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
Episode 13 brings us back to civilian life in the Federacy. The Spearhead 5 spend their free time doing normal activities, trying their best to assimilate into society. They attempt to try new things, make new friends, but no matter how hard they try, you get the sense they just don't belong.
Facts.
The feeling of isolation they all share leads to their mutual desire to return to the battlefield. The ending sequence highlights some of the important scenes in each episode. You have arrived at the first segment of Anju's Pain Corner, where we get glimpses of Anju's suffering. In this episode, the most glaring scene was when Theo asks Anju about her future. Notice there is a couple walking in the background that closely resembles Anju and Daya. This is a painful reminder that shows us Anju is still coping with her loss.
And I noticed that too, dude, this is so weird. This is actually weird because I have noticed that, but at the same time, I didn't know it was supposed to represent what she was thinking. That is crazy. that just gave me chills, actually. Way too much of a good detail.
Back at the library, there was a particular book that caught our Stoic Reaper's attention. You might have seen this book before.
Oh.
It was a book he was all too familiar with.
The Skull Knight.
Vital returns. It was a heartwarming episode, but we were quickly brought back to reality, because this is 86. In one instance, we have a warm and cheerful scene. The boys are having a nice wholesome meal. Heck, they even took a picture together. Everything is good. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did they just...
Yeah, I was
The
upset with this
transition here
too.
is ineffable. First they showed Eugene holding onto his locket, and then immediately the next frame you see a bloody arm still gripping onto the same locket. It was an incredibly well executed scene that foreshadowed his death right before the final revelation.
Right. Dude, that's, oh my god, that's crazy, dude. Wow. I just can't believe that. Like, I know why they did it, but at the same time, it still hurts, like, how they did it, how they executed it. It's like, man, Eugene, come on. RP Eugene, man.
Episode 15 had an abundance of crow scenes, and a crow was also featured in the ending sequence. The kanji karasu means both raven and crow in Japanese, while the Chinese equivalent is wu ya. In both Japanese and Chinese, the word for raven and crow is interchangeable. In case you didn't know, crows are a carrion bird, which means their diet consists of feasting on the flesh of deceased animals.
Right?
With their pitch black feathers, their ominous croaking voice, and their reputation as scavengers of the dead, crows are often associated with loss and bad omen. While in Western culture, they sometimes have a positive connotation in the form of insight and prophecy, Eastern cultures strongly associate these birds with negative symbolism.
Right.
The arrival of a large flock of crows signifies they are anticipating death to occur, eagerly waiting for their next meal.
Wow.
If one should appear at your doorstep, it means that someone you know has passed away. Knowing all of the superstitious meanings behind the karasu made me particularly anxious for what's to come. We know the director doesn't let small details go to waste. The sense of foreboding is extremely well done because right before the scene where Shin and Raiden have their talk, two crows are seen perched outside.
Yup.
After their conversation, only one remains.
See, I noticed that. I 100% noticed that. And I didn't know what it 100% meant, but I knew for a fact that would have never happened because of the transitions on how 86 does it. You could tell that they're trying to like let you know something, but you just 100% don't know.
During Curia's backstory, we were given a sneak peek of his eventual alias.
Oh, I'm
On
so
the
glad he's
window,
talking about
there
this
is
right
a
here.
morpho butterfly tangled in a spiderweb. We later come to know the Legion weapon has been designated as the Morpho. Episode 12 and 15 dropped various hints that the Republic was outgunned. While Lena's squadron reduced in numbers, Legion-controlled territory was ever expanding.
Yeah.
Surrounded on all fronts, the imminent full-scale invasion finally happened on August 25th. No-Face has no chill. He chose no better day for such antics, to attack on the very day the Albas celebrated their annual revolution.
Yup.
The
That's the easy
conversation
one.
between Lena and General Costal deserves a mention. Jerome wanted to know if Lena is truly prepared for what's going to happen, questioning her resolve. The tension here is palpable. He strongly believes the 86 will turn on the Albas as soon as they open the floodgates, because when the oppressed get the opportunity to lash out at their oppressors, bad things tend to happen. In other words, my man has probably watched enough hentai. What I meant to say was, he's obviously studied enough history to know where this is going. The ever idealistic Lena shows unwavering conviction in face of the general's dire warnings. Jerome was always the man to uphold the status quo. He followed the will of the nation and was complicit with all of the wrongdoings in the Republic. He didn't want Lena to chase empty ideals because those same ideals took the life of Vasclav Milize. But knowing things are finally coming to an end, he takes up his combat-worn gear and decides to pave the way for Lena to chase her idealistic dreams. By the looks of his worn gear, Jerome wasn't a top general for no reason. He was a seasoned veteran that experienced life on the battlefield.
One thing about that, like, it's just like a lot of people did explain to me perfectly in the comment section. Like, I know like her uncle was nuts, but at the same time, he actually stood out as a good character. But obviously knowing that his character, he's stuck on the ideological thinking with how the Alba are thinking because they are oppressing 86. Obviously, her uncle is not going to just switch up, knowing what they did to 86.
On that day, humanity received a grim reminder, for they
AOT.
lived in fear of the Legion and were disgraced to live in these walls they called District 1. This episode contains a ton of parallelism. The juxtaposition between episode 1 and 17 has some unsettling visualization. The once glorious and peaceful Republic, basked in morning light, is now bathed in a sea of flames under the pale moonlight.
I never noticed they portrayed like they had them sided. Like, that's crazy. That's a good detail. Wow.
Of names back in my first video. Once again, they are named the Spearhead Squadron. The analogy here is perfect, and to no one's surprise, they are yet again on another suicide mission. The 86 are the perfect people for the mission, for they are the most likely to succeed in destroying the Morpho while having no family members that will mourn for their deaths.
Wow.
The scene with the 86 talking in lieu of Shin's consciousness was brilliant, but it tops off with a shot of Shin from outside the window. The Undertaker can hear the Legion inside the walls of San Magnolia, and he believes the major he confided in has passed away.
Yeah.
Always carrying a stoic demeanor, Shin doesn't know how to cry, so in order for the director to show us how he's truly feeling, the rain droplet on the window sheds a tear for him.
Oh my god, dude, that is so good. That is actually so good because I remember watching the scene. Wow, dude, oh my god. It, man, got about had me tear up a little bit right here. I would have never expected that's like what that 100% meant. Like, I knew he was thinking that way, but like thinking that was meant for him, how he coped about it is like insane. That's wild. Like, that's a perfect detail.
There aren't many details in episode 18, but it's worth mentioning the Naha Zeva is based off of a real-life counterpart called the Caspian Sea Monster.
Okay.
The practicality of using a hovercraft on land is limited, but it was effective for evading detection over sea. I really love how Asato uses non-fictional military weapons as an inspiration for the world building. The Morpho is based off of a historical weapon called the German Gustav cannon, which was used in World War II.
Dude, the author is amazing. This dude is amazing. See, I even knew, I was sitting there also like comparing it in my head to things in real life, when in reality, that's what those things were. Like, it was actually based on real life. Dude, the author is amazing. Dude.
We first saw the Legion Shepherds designating Shin's Reigen Leaf with a special call sign in episode 19. They called him Baal Jaeger. The word derives from Old Norse, and it's another name for Odin. Odin was a god of war and death, who gained his powers on the verge of death. Sound familiar? The word Baal Jaeger has a literal meaning, the one with flaming eyes, which is quite fitting due to how the Undertaker pilots his juggernaut. The reason why the Legion Upper Echelon designated Shin with a special name was because he was perceived as an immense threat to the Legion.
Facts. Okay, that makes perfect sense actually.
In episode 20, the show continues to flex on us by using a brilliant visual metaphor that gives us insight to how Raiden and Shin are feeling. The camera's sudden focus onto the railway emphasizes the directions both characters are heading towards. Despite sharing the same path, Raiden's path is clear and without hindrances. Meanwhile, Shin's path is blocked. There is nothing physically preventing Shin from moving forward, but he has a mental hurdle that he simply cannot get over. The Reaper can't see a bright future ahead, and therefore is convinced this will be a one-way trip.
Shout out to the person who also pointed that out to me, because I didn't even 100% notice that at all because I was so focused on their conversation. So shout out to whoever acknowledged me about that information.
A time-lapse of a blue butterfly takes place throughout episode 20. The symbolism here can be taken quite literally. The 86 are ants, slowly dismembering the remaining fragments of a deceased Morpho butterfly. Another interpretation of this scene I really enjoyed came from Twitter user Maria, who often tweets about 86. And we're back for another segment of Anju's Pain Corner. While everyone shares their desires to see the ocean after the war, Anju talks about wanting to see the glaciers up north. I wonder where I heard that one.
Oh.
Oh.
I actually
Every
didn't
so
notice
often,
that.
the show likes to rub salt in the wound and remind us that Daya's passing still
Hurts
hits
her.
right in the feels.
Yeah.
Why do they do this?
Mhm.
Just to make us suffer? The Low, Löwe in German, is a tank-type legion introduced in episode 2. Tanks are generally categorized as slow but powerful armored vehicles with low maneuverability. Löwes were no different. They're often seen supported by the more mobile Ameise. In the first half of 86, we learned Löwes had a glaring weakness because they can't shoot up. In episode 21, they've overcome that weakness.
Oh yeah.
The evolution of Legion tactics makes the Legion much more formidable. Who could have thought we would have seen character development for the autonomous Legion
Exactly.
foot soldiers?
Dude, like someone also pointed that out in the comment section, and it's actually insane that usually when it comes to anime, they normally don't give the antagonist or the enemy basically character development. Like they normally don't do that. But when it comes to 86 and knowing that the Legion, like no one cares about the Legion. We all think about that the Legion should be gone. But the fact that they sat there and took the time to actually basically give them character development, that's crazy. Like, it's hilarious.
The following observations were written before episode 22 came out. In a pivotal moment during the confrontation between Shin and Kyria, an unknown source of artillery fire comes to aid the Undertaker. In a direct callback to episode 9, the same type of mortar bombardment is used in episode 21 during the fight against the Morpho.
Yeah, I've
With
seen
these
this.
striking similarities, there's no doubt in my mind that the supporting artillery fire came from the Republic of San Magnolia. Two important details helped me reach this conclusion. First, they were in Republic territory. Visually speaking, the capital of San Magnolia has a striking resemblance to Paris, France. In the previous episode, we've been shown multiple scenes of destroyed statues and French signposts that signaled that we were back in the Republic. The second key detail is the color of the para-raid device. We were told the new raid devices were reverse engineered by the Federacy. When the raid devices are operational, its color is yellow. When the device is on mute, it is red. In the heated moment before the bombardment, you can see Shin's raid device flicker between yellow and green several times. A muffled but audible command is given by an unknown voice, instructing Shin to retreat, and he complies. We were last shown Lena's raid device upgraded to allow her to synchronize with all of the units within the 86 districts. If we put 2 and 2 together, we can reasonably conclude that the voice came from none other than Vladilena Melise.
Dude, these details, dude, is insane, dude. It's actually, okay, my mind is actually blown. Like, I know earlier I said, like, poof, but, like, literally, like, wow, like, just all the information is feeding in.
In case you didn't know, it was announced on December 23rd, 2021. The final 2 episodes are delayed until the following year. The season finale will be airing on March 19th, 2022. There are exactly 86 days from the date of announcement to the date of the planned finale. I don't know if this was a coincidence, but I feel this was too perfect to be not done deliberately.
Nah,
the main reason why
they did
the
it on
show was
purpose.
delayed was because of scheduling conflicts. 86 simply ran out of time slots, and Japanese television schedules are planned meticulously ahead of time, and therefore could not squeeze in the final 2 episodes, caused by multiple production delays.
See, I when I heard that happened, I knew it was they purposely did that. They purposely clearly did that. Like, come on now. Do you guys believe that it was just a coincidence? Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe it could have, and maybe they pre-planned it, knowing that they wouldn't have much time. It just coincidentally timed up right, and it was like, oh, okay, we'll just go with this then. But come on now, like, that was too perfect. And the show ends on the day that Lena and Shin meet, which is 3/20. Like, come on now. Like, you want me to sit here and think that's a coincidence? You want me to believe that that's a coincidence? you out of your mind. Shout out to ctrlaltQQ for another one. The details that they go out of their way to do is like insane. Even with her color change, even though it was a small detail technically, it was still cool seeing that they actually sat there and did that. The fact that they decided to do it is what matters. He is coming out with a part 3 now. I don't know when that's coming out, so whenever he makes a part 3, let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully I wasn't pausing too crazy. I just want to get some things out there. Hey, so my bad if you got irritated. Hey, don't get mad at me. Come on now. Let a brother express his opinions. But if you like this reaction, like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Signing off.